Oh, you hit go live.
I did. I hit go live. Are we live?
No, because it says waiting for John Bingham.
Maybe there's a 10-second delay because I
There it goes.
hit it. Ladies and gentlemen, I still don't see it. Resetting. Whoa! There it is. No, I'm going to have to say hello to people. All right. Now, how do I
Hello.
turn down that volume? There we go. What's up, Dave Levine? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our very first podcast live, Whiskey and Wires. I am your well-fed host.
Howie Simon pumps in.
Oh, speaking of well-fed, look at that kid. What's up, Howie? So, Dave Levine, it's been a little while. We used to partner on a little show many moons ago.
Oh yes, light years.
Yes. I wasn't planning on pursuing this YouTube thing, and then what other choice did I have?
Right.
Oh, Howie's pantsless. Somebody listens to directions. Good.
Excellent.
So, yeah, I was showing you over my wrong hand. I get used to this mirror thing. Over my shoulder there, new little amp in the background, folks.
Yeah.
We've added a shitty Marshall.
Actually,
I like it. That sounds good.
Have you put it through any paces at all yet, or not really?
Yeah, I've been told that this particular amp, that the one setting that's like the good setting, is to go the green channel in crunch mode with the gain all the way up. And that setting sounds great. It sounds really, really good. So that's what I'm doing.
Okay. Is the green channel that's the clean channel?
It's the clean channel. So you go to clean channel, crunch mode, gain all the way up. It sounds really, really good.
Nice.
And then from there, you hit it with your drive pedals and everything. Just adds like bite and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Jimmy Biter.
Jimmy Biter's in the house.
Yeah, Jimmy, do you have any siblings named Pillow? What? It's a curious question.
Unbelievable, folks.
This is
the material's only going south from here.
For people that have heard my usual Whiskey and Wires podcast, I usually ask questions to people who make amps. Now that I'm here with Dave, this is definitely gonna go downhill.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna be much, much more about I don't know, just how it used to be. This was like Guitar Talk Part 2.
This is Guitar Talk Live.
Oh man. Steve Longworth is in the house. Steve Longworth is the builder. You remember my buddy Steve? Asian Steve, as he was known?
Oh, yeah, Asian Steve, yeah.
Right.
Of course.
He recently built an amplifier from scratch.
Oh, really?
Just out of nowhere. About a year ago, me and him are talking, and he's like, oh, I'm getting into, like, reading schematics and this and that. And lo and behold, like a year later, he's got this insanely cool amplifier. He's it's like a hybrid of like a Soldano and a Marshall, basically. And the thing sounds good from the clips that I've heard, but it looks amazing. It's like the coolest design you've ever seen before. It's just out of nowhere. Really, really cool.
Wow. And it's in a full, like, is it true or not?
Yeah, it's like a wood cabinet. And then he had custom panels built, custom nameplate built, the whole thing. Just looks amazing. Yeah. I don't know if you can share photos in the live stream comment section. If you can, Steve, you should put that photo up there and let everybody see it, because it's amazing. If not, I'll send it to you later.
All right.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, how would you compare that Marshall to that to the Dirty Shirley?
The Dirty Shirley. It's a different animal altogether. So the Dirty Shirley is based on a Marshall. I'm like, it's a different animal altogether. Oh,
excellent.
Yeah. So the Shirley is it's darker. It's got a lot more sag to it. So that Mesa cabinet that they're both sitting on top of has 25-watt greenbacks in it.
Okay.
And it's just crazy that the moment I turned on that DSL 50 in that crunch mode, the way I described, it just sounds exactly like what you think about when you think about what a Marshall sounds like. It sounds exactly like it. And so that's what it sounds like. The Shirley is rounder on the top end. It's got more bass. It's got more gain. More gain on tap if you want to use it. But yeah, so I guess I would say the DSL 50 is brighter and faster. And the Shirley's darker and saggier.
All right. Interesting.
Yeah,
I mean, it's the amp that Jeff Beck used for a long time.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, the DSL 50.
Yeah. And I know you have one there. It's slightly out of frame, but
yes. Yep. Yeah, I have a DSL 50 also, the JCM 2000.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's it'll be fun to hang around, you know. It was a very, very inexpensive acquisition. So
right. And now tell everybody about the tone wood that the box is made out of.
Exactly. Ladies and gentlemen. Now I will say, from opening it up, it's a different animal inside compared to like one of the Friedmans or the Morgans or wherever, where you've got like true components with like the flying leads, as they call it, and the Marshall. Everything is on a circuit board in this particular amp. So like it's got like all of the little pots are like, they're not like CTS metal pots. They're like little plastic pots that are mounted on a board, and all the stems that the knobs sit on are plastic. It's definitely not made to the same spec of like, you know, one of the amps that we make. Still sounds good though.
Howie, is that better?
What did Howie have to say?
He said that my mic was way louder than yours.
Oh, interesting.
Because here it sounds like they're the same, but
yeah, that's what I get in my ears too. All right, let's see if that's any better. Maybe I got to get up on top of mine like that. So, you know,
Laurie.
One of my hey Laurie, one of my fun little activities during quarantine has been surfing Craigslist. I'm just waiting for the bottom to drop out of everybody who's trying to sell gear because they're trying to pay rent.
Right. Totally.
Shockingly, that hasn't happened yet. I see people all day long with like a 1996 American Standard Stratocaster, and they're asking $1,100 for it. You're like, what?
Yeah, you know, it's funny. Someone emailed me the other day about one of my guitars, and he was like, do you need it? You know, are you looking to trade? I'm like, no, I'm looking to clean house.
What do you got for sale?
A Deluxe V Strat 2006 and a 2009.
Got it. Those are is that your cream one?
Exactly.
With the Charlie Christian pickups?
Yes.
And then also the black one?
No, the red one. The black one I'm going to keep.
Oh, the red one. Why are you getting rid of that? That's a great guitar. It's just because you have two?
No, it's just that the neck, that 1 5/8 nut, I just don't love it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you put a custom neck on the black one?
No, the black one, I can deal with it. It's just I just don't need 3 of the neck.
Understood. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got a bunch of people popping in now. If anybody's got any questions, let us know. For people that don't know Dave, because there's a good number of people in here. I see Steve Longworth. Steve actually met Dave years ago. Alex Nunez is here. For guys that don't know Dave and I met around 2007, I'd like to say. We were both working at West LA Music. He actually hired me. He was the store manager at that point in time. And we worked together there for I don't know, 3 or 4 years, however long it was.
Yeah.
We were roommates for a while. We ran a podcast together for a while. We've played shows together.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's had the terrible misfortune of spending time with me for a number of years.
That's right.
And at this point in time, Dave is living in Boston,
Yes.
which is in a region also known as New England, for those who are unfamiliar. And gigs.
For those who never looked at a map before.
Right. Gigs and teaches, and probably gigs more than... You probably gig more than most people I know.
Yeah.
I mean, not anymore.
Well, not since this thing kicked in, but yeah,
Sure.
I was 2 or 3 times a week.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you'd cover every live venue that's still available to play in Los Angeles in a week and a half at that pace.
Right.
It's just,
yeah,
it really changed. So what's new? What's going on with what are you doing through all this?
Well, I've been doing a lot of lesson stuff on my channel. For those who don't know, I have a YouTube channel called Dave's Guitar Channel, and I'm Dave. Thank you. You know what? So I've been doing like a lot of lessons for that. You know, it's funny. People like always, hey, what about this song? Or can you teach this song? And really, the songs I'm teaching are for me. So I can go back and just look it up and go, how the hell did that song go again? Oh, yeah, here I am teaching it.
Can't tell you how many times I've seen like an Andy Gibb or a Barry Gibb video go up there. So I don't know what your questionable taste these days, DL.
Oh, you got to be kidding me. It's the classic yacht rock stuff. That's it's very nostalgic for a lot of people. So that's why I'm like, oh shit, I got to learn this. And is that my channel?
Yeah, I just shot a link to Dave's channel in the chat. If you haven't subscribed to his channel, you should do it, because you're going to find a lot more useful content than you'll get in my channel. You'll learn how to play songs from Peaches and Herb, from Steely Dan.
Oh yeah, Steely Dan. Yes, Peaches and Herb. I'll do one just for you.
Right, but I mean, you know, what do I do on my channel? I ask Ant Builders questions.
Yeah, and we also did that show. We had Joe Morgan on the show, and so yeah, so I've just been doing like a lot of playing, a lot of teaching. I don't know, you know, it's like, it's funny. I have a couple of rants that I would like to do at some point, but I haven't really fine-tuned it yet. And also, I'm going to do a video on my Strats that I made from Warmouth parts and stuff like that.
That's a good video.
Hey, thanks.
I know that's a good video. That's one you got to do.
What's that? Who is second place Nerd Gaming? Is that a friend of yours?
Yeah, that's Alex.
Alex. Okay.
Yeah, he works with me over at the old Boutique Amps distribution company.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, and he does a gaming channel.
Yeah,
where he dies a lot.
Well, and I've started a show called One-on-One, where I've had people on to interview. I had Howie. I'm probably going to bring Howie back because we figured that Zoom works a lot better.
Right.
And it'll be good because we could keep talking about a lot of different things. And I've had Tony Brock on from the Babies, and I've had, you know, just different. One of my drum students was on this show. I had Joey Allen from Warrant.
Is there anybody, speaking of the Babies, would anybody know who the Babies are outside of the song Back on My Feet Again or whatever?
Isn't that, did you watch you didn't watch my Tony Brock interview, did you?
I didn't, no.
Because we were talking about his hits, and he was saying that, you know, the biggest hits were Every Time I Think of You and Isn't It Time? And I said, nah, it's Back on My Feet Again. And he was like, he was shocked that I said that. He's like, you think? I'm like, what do you mean I think? It's the only one people know.
Yeah, I don't even know the name of the one. What's the one called you just mentioned?
Every Time I Think of You.
Yeah, I don't think I know that
It's always something good.
Oh, you know what's funny about that? You just said Every Time I Think of You. Isn't that the same lyric? Every time I think of you.
Yeah,
I
right.
always catch my breath. So John
Yeah,
Waite was
Midnight
just
Rendezvous is a great one. Hey,
was
Hack, what's happened?
I wonder if John Waite was recycling lyrics.
I don't think he wrote Missing You. Oh, no,
Really?
he did. I'm sorry. It was the first song, People Talking. That one was Holly Knight, I believe, wrote that one, Change.
Okay. Who wrote the song Every Time You Go Away?
That was Daryl Hall that wrote
Take
that
a
song.
piece of me with you. That's in my head now. I'm gonna have to
Yeah,
listen to that
Daryl
once
Hall
it's
wrote
over.
it, but Paul Young did the cover of it, and he sang the hit.
And
But
Paul Young,
originally,
who was Paul Young? Was he in another band?
he actually was in a band with Tony Brock from the Babies before the Babies.
Okay.
But yeah, he was a keyboard player in a band, and then he had a solo career, and he did Every Time I Think of You and Come Back and Stay for Good This Time.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
What's up, Hack?
Great stuff.
Folks,
But
this
yeah,
coffee
so
mug keeps my coffee fresh in my hand. Brought to you
yes,
by Dave's Guitar Channel right there.
the Mug of Champions.
If you go and subscribe to Dave's Guitar Channel, you can buy one of these.
Yes, for the
It is a
low
good
price. Now they're limited, so now they're the low price of $200 each.
Now I got to tell you, this little the insignia that you put on it, this has gone through the dishwasher probably 100 times, and the insignia is still perfect.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah, whoever the company is that's manufacturing these is doing a good job.
I forget what they're called, but they send me an email every 5 seconds.
Would you like to order another case?
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. Well, I haven't gotten into that stuff yet. I think I'm a ways away from worrying about putting merch out.
Merch. You got to rep the merch.
If anybody that watches my channel wants merch from me, you got problems.
And you're not getting it.
Right.
Right. So do you guys have merch at your place?
What?
Do you guys even have merch? What would you have? Oh
yeah, from Boutique Camps we do, but that's that's a different business. That's my side hustle. This is my real business.
Right.
So I was thinking if a band that was like a tribute to the coronavirus was started, my guitar character would be Quarantine Martini.
Oh God.
What?
That's horrendous.
Quarantine Martini?
That's just awful.
It's hilarious. I need to find a drummer.
God.
COVID Powell.
COVID Powell's passed away.
He could also be the Secretary of Defense.
You know, exactly. Now you're talking. It's funny. I don't know what's going to go with that.
I have no idea.
Not that funny.
So this is a new microphone for you. I'm scrolling my cursor over it like the people on the other side of this can see my mouse cursor. The microphone that you are speaking into is not one I'm familiar with. What is that?
This one?
Yeah.
This is the Blue Yeti.
It's the Yeti. That's a popular one. Okay.
Yes, very popular.
How he says we're both singing way too much.
Yeah.
Believe me, one line is way too much. Oh, Jimmy Biter killed it. Rudy Sarzo.
Oh, see?
That's fantastic. We got a whole band getting put together here.
Right.
Definitely need a vocalist. You didn't know this bit was going to be good.
I had no idea.
Oh, it's funny.
So now we have Howie Simon in the chat, and Howie is a player of Friedman guitars.
Yes, he is.
What model is he playing exactly?
He's got a No. Does he have a Cali? Yeah, he has a Cali. Sorry, I was confused for a second. When he originally came in, he's looking for a 24 fret guitar.
Right.
which would be the NoHo, but he ended up kind of falling in love with the Cali, and so that's what he's been playing. It's fantastic guitar.
Right.
There's a few guys out there that are playing that right now. Jeff Loomis is another one. If you're a metal guy, you'll know who that is. But they're really, really good. Alex, the second place nerd that's here, is actually the guy that facilitates all of the guitar stuff between Dave and Grover. He's responsible for that. So oddly enough, there you go.
Yeah. Oh, very cool.
And he says it was a custom order for stock, I want to say. Yeah, I don't know what that means.
So if Howie decides to all of a sudden play a NoHo and he likes the original guitar better, would you then say he's going back to Cali? Thank you.
No, I wouldn't.
It's horrendous. It's the worst.
That's a terrible joke.
All right, Howie says fantastic guitar.
Yeah, thanks, Howie. The the guitars are all good. Grover knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he's great.
Crazy old man, but he really knows how to build a guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm ready for all this to be over. I want to get back to the shop. I have people emailing me every day asking for guitars. Every day.
Let me ask you this question. Alex over there.
This one's for you.
The guy Alex in your thing that works with you?
Big Al?
Yeah, it is awful. Thank you. Does Alex play cards?
I don't know. He'll have to answer that one.
Alex, are you a poker player?
I'm curious where this is going. By the way, I don't know if you noticed my shirt. It says Santa Claus is coming. And of course, Santa's saying.
I see it, but I don't know if that was for if he plays cards.
Maybe it is.
Oh, okay. No, because you said nice pull. And that's like such a card game terminology when somebody, hits something on the river.
I did not know that.
I just figured whatever. So what's going on? What is the plan when you guys get back? I guess just get back to doing the business that you're doing, right?
Yeah, I have a feeling that we're going to have a lot of work to do when we get back, because there have been orders coming in just over and over. Like I said, I'm getting calls from people ordering guitars, getting calls from people that want to get amplifiers. Like Soldano is supposed to be launching right now, and people are going bananas over the SLO 30, which we don't have into the marketplace yet. So once the SLO 30, it was supposed to be out in May, and because everything's getting pushed back 6 or 8 weeks, it's probably going to be more towards summer now. But it's just this constant demand. So I think when we get back, it's going to be just filling a ton of back orders.
So the SLO 30 is obviously a 30-watt version of the 100, SLO 100. Right. What's the power section?
Pair of 6L6s.
Oh, a pair of 6L6s, and it's only 30 watts?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, because it has to do with output transformers and power transformers and everything else. All that other stuff goes into it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, their overall output potential could be, upwards of 50-something watts, but, with the way the power section is designed, it's going to be about 30. And, the other thing about a lot of these companies, and I'm not just talking about myself, but like everybody in general out there, they tell you that an amplifier is a certain wattage, but in reality, it could be a lot more.
Or sometimes less.
Yeah, I think you'd get called on your shit if you made it less, though. Like the nerds out there would go, hey, this is supposed to be a 30-watt amp, but I put it on my meter and it's only outputting 22. This, and then all of a sudden your company's got a bad reputation. Whereas the other way around, you tell them it's 30 watts and it reads 38.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay. So I know for certain that we don't do that. We don't overclaim anything. I'm sure that we underestimate some things, but that's a dirty little industry secret.
Yeah. Now, so What other amps have you been checking out that you don't
Ooh.
necessarily rep? Like, have you seen anything new from Bogner? Or
yeah, they've got that new Ecstasy 35. I can't remember the model number, but they've got one that is looking pretty good and it sounds pretty good. I saw it at NAMM.
yeah,
Sounded really good. Alex might remember who was playing it at the booth. I think it might be Andre Nieri. You know who that is?
no.
There's a guitar player out there named Andre Nieri, and he is ridiculous. It's like one of those guitar players that, like, when you hear him play, you're just like, why am I doing this?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think he was demoing it at the booth, and it just sounded incredible. So that's like a low wattage Ecstasy.
Yeah. Yeah, I like a lot of Bogner's stuff.
Sure. I'll tell you, it's not amp related, but I think the best deal going on any piece of gear right now is this thing.
On which?
This that I'm holding right now, the DoD Rubberneck analog delay.
Oh, we can't see it. That thing has yet to be plugged in.
Oh, yeah. I finally did. I played it a whole bunch.
Oh, you
still
did?
haven't. Yeah, I haven't mounted it on my pedal board yet, but
no, because it's still the paperweight on your desk.
Yes, exactly. This thing's awesome. So this is a tap tempo analog delay with a couple of other features, and it is like Pro Audio Star, for whatever reason right now, is selling it at 50% off. So you can go online and order from Pro Audio Star this pedal for $119.
What is it?
It's an analog delay.
Hold it up for a sec. Why is such a big enclosure for if it does one thing?
It's got tap tempo. It's got a secondary function on each one of the pedals as well. So if you hold them down, they'll do different things. They do what they call rubbernecking, which is, I don't know, usually what I refer to when you're like walking past a really good looking woman and you got to turn back around and look again. But they refer to it as delay. But it has a lot of features and stuff. But the thing that's so amazing about it is it sounds just like my Boss DM2, which to me is like the best sounding delay pedal ever. That's my favorite delay pedal I've ever owned. And this sounds exactly like it, except now it has a tap tempo and it's a lot more flexible.
How much are they asking for the Rubberneck?
$119. Totally reasonable.
And that's 50% off?
Yeah.
DoD is making a pedal that costs $200.
I know, isn't that weird? But I mean, it's like, solid steel enclosure, and it does a lot of things.
Yeah.
Namely,
hey, Cecil, how are you?
Does a lot of things. One thing. So, yeah, that thing's fantastic. That's the best deal going right now in all the gear. If you're a Friedman guy, like if you're into the Dave Friedman sound, the JJ Jr. is worth checking out. The JJ Jr. is the 20-watt Jerry Cantrell amp, and it's insane. You've never.
And now the JJ Jr. wasn't that originally designed for Jimmy Walker? Thank you.
Yes, it was. In fact. And he did indeed. When he first played it, he goes, "Dynamite!" Sorry, dude.
Oh God, folks, it's not getting any better.
Now there's somebody on our channel, and I want to know if it's Cecil or Cecil. Is it Cecil or Cecil?
Is it Cecil or Cecil? Bobby Lopes is looking at the JJ Jr.
It's fantastic.
Yeah,
it's the best 20 watts you'll ever play.
Are you thinking of buying it, Bobby? Must reach jelly beans.
You have jelly beans over there?
Just a small container.
That'd be great if you mixed in the like the shitty ones. You know what ones I'm talking about? Where you can get like the trick ones?
Yeah, the black licorice.
No, not black licorice, like the ones that taste like grass clippings and vomit and
that's all jelly beans.
You haven't seen those yet?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my kids get them every once in a while. It's like a little game. They'll get jelly beans, and they'll be a mix, and it'll tell you on the outside of the box, like, there's blueberry, and there's this, and there's that, but then there's also these trick ones that are in there, and so the game is to try not to eat the ones that taste terrible. It's actually pretty funny. I've had the vomit one before, and it was the worst thing you've ever tasted.
That's awful.
Yeah.
Bobby says it's expensive in Canada.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to get Trudeau to fire up that economy up there. Get the loonie in line with the American dollar.
What the hell's the loonie?
Oh, come on, Deal. You haven't been to Canada enough. That's the
Yeah.
currency. The loonie. That's the dollar coin. They also have a toonie, which I love. The $2 Canadian coin.
Interesting.
Yeah. So in terms of gear, Steve Fryette is making something that I'm interested in right now.
Oh, yeah, I saw you had him on. I didn't get a chance to watch that episode.
It's the longest episode you've ever heard of in your life. It's like I cut it down from 3.5 hours.
Are you kidding?
It was amazing. The dude, he can tell stories. He just goes and goes and goes. And there was a lot of good stuff in there. I cut all the good stuff out and left the rubbish. So in the Fryette thing, we were originally talking about the Power Station 100, which is an attenuator device that he makes.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool. It's got an attenuator built into it. It also has a power amp built into it. So if you take, for example, like a 5-watt champ or something like that, so you can take a champ and you can run it into that, and then you can utilize its 100-watt power amp and basically, give yourself a 100-watt champ if you wanted that, or you can use it the other way, which is as an attenuator. You can drive your amp all the way up and bring your volume way down. So that it's kind of cool that you can do that. But I was initially turned on to it from Dave Friedman because Dave Friedman was telling me that particular attenuator is the best sounding attenuator you're ever going to play.
Really?
Yeah, and so he was like, "It's unbelievable." So I brought it up and started talking to Steve about it, and now it's on my wish list of goodies to get.
Nice.
I live in an apartment in Los Angeles, so being able to crank up those things over there, it's not really an option.
He made years ago that VHT buffer.
Oh, the valvulator, that inline. Yeah,
exactly. I used to love that. That was a nice buffer.
Mm.
He makes good stuff. I like Steve.
Yeah.
What's going on with his company though? So is he still making amps? Because for a while he had like all these exciting amps coming out, and I never saw anything about them. The Memphis kind of disappeared, and
right. Yeah, I'm not convinced that he's got a real strong sales channel. He could probably use some. You could use some help there because the products are top notch, and as quality of individual, he's as nice as they come. He's a great guy. He's a good builder, but he definitely should have more. What's the word I'm looking for? He should just have more in the marketplace. Stores that carry like our lines seem like they should also be carrying his. It only makes sense.
Yeah, I don't think he has someone pushing that line or pushing his product, because his old pit bulls were great.
Yeah,
the Pitbull 100 was a great amp.
One of my favorite amps that I've ever had. If I find on Craigslist or Reverb or anything, or if anybody in this chat randomly happens to have a Pitbull 100 CL, let me know. That's one I want.
Yeah,
if I found one for a reasonable price, I'd pick it up like that. I've had 2 of them in the past, and both times I got rid of it. Within 6 months, I was like, "Why did I do that?"
Yeah. So Bobby Lopes is asking about, do you guys have any cosmetic damage JJs?
Nope, we don't do B stock. We do no B stock because we build all of our cabinets and everything right there in house. So, considering the only cosmetic damage that could come to an amp like that would generally be to the Tolex or something, we just put a new head shell on it. It's also a part of, it's really a part of having a higher end line like that. Generally not going to be able to go to like a go to a Mercedes dealership and, find cars with big dents in the fenders. No, totally reasonable. Totally reasonable. I don't want to sound like a smartass. I hope I don't, but that's kind of the way that things are done over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But
it's funny because, like I said, I don't see Friant should have always had that type of market share, and it seemed like it kind of dwindled down a little bit. You know what I mean? And he kind of disappeared for a little bit.
Yeah. I think it's part of the problem of being like a really good inventor. You're really good at that. He clearly isn't the best at the other side of it, at the marketing side of it and all that, And if you're running a small business, you've somehow got to find enough money to hire a staff, or at least another couple guys to put together your marketing for you, put together a sales and distribution channel for you. And that stuff takes a while to build up. So the unfortunate thing for a small builder like him, or if you look at somebody like Bogner or whoever, a lot of these guys, because their businesses are so small, they don't have that initial income to be able to say, all right, I can hire $400,000 worth of staff that I'm not going to recoup that money back from them for 8 months until things start to bang along. So I just think in a lot of these cases with these smaller companies, I'm not just referring to Steve, but in general, I just don't know that there's enough business savvy to find, other revenue streams and things to sort of make that happen, to build a company. I think in terms of like boutique amps, what we do, if it wasn't for what we do, a lot of the people that work with us would also suffer sort of a similar fate.
But I mean, just think about how many amp companies are out there. I mean, Howie's playing Metza Barba, which is a nice sounding amp. You have Steve Henning makes great amps. And, like all these smaller boutique builders that are just all trying to kind of get their foothold in there. Axis says that not too long ago he considered the ultimate amp would be the dual rec, but that changed. I have a question for you here, Axis, because I'm not sure what you mean. Marshall's JCM series have hooked me. Yeah. JCM what?
Yeah, you could be talking about
JCM is just the name of every series since 1981.
Right, 81 through they dropped that moniker when they came out with what, the JVM.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and the Victoria and the
Right. In fairness to them, though, there's a lineage through all of those sounds. They're not all exactly the same, but they're what do you say, 800s?
Yeah.
And
again, in the 800s, there's a big difference between a 2205 and a 2204.
One digit. No, it's
yeah, they're both 50 watts. One's a single channel, the other one's a dual channel.
Mm-hmm.
The 2204 is far superior than the 2205.
That's what I hear. I've never played a 2205 before. That's got the diode clipping push button on it. What was it, James?
No, not push button. I think it's just in this circuit.
No, it has a second channel button on it. There's a boost.
A channel. Oh, it does.
Yeah, for sure.
I thought in the later 800s they didn't have that. That was what people hated about them. I had a buddy that had an 83, 2205, 2210, a 1983, and it was one of the worst sounding Marshalls.
Yeah. I don't know. Also, the tolerances of the parts.
Cecil. It was his initials, James Charles Marshall.
The tolerance of the parts on any given day could have been different. It's another thing that I hear about talking to Joe Morgan and Dave Friedman and stuff like that all day long is, when people say, oh, I like the Marshall sound, and Dave's, kind of real snarky response is always like, yeah, which one?
Right.
Because he's repaired a million of them. And he says, I can tell you that I've opened up, JMPs that are wired with completely different components within a similar date range, just because it's like, what do we have on the shelf today that will allow us to get this out the door right now? Which is, that's what you get.
Cecil has a question. He says, which 900 doesn't have the diode clipping?
That's a good question.
So, no, he says SLX. The answer is the SLX. What happens is the JCM 900, 2100, and 2500, they have a clipping diode that's on an extra gain switch. It's on a knob. If you turn it all the way off, it's not in the circuit. And then when you turn it on, you add a clipping diode. In 92 or 93, they got rid of that model and called it the SLX. And instead, what they did was they put an extra 12AX7 tube on that gain. So now instead of going through the regular, you're going through an extra tube. So there was a hell of a lot more compression going on with that gain, which wasn't good either.
Yeah.
The 900, the 2100, I think is much better than the SLX.
That's the Mark III.
Yes, these are Mark IIIs. And Mark III means the Mark II was the 2203 and the 2204. And then the Mark I was the prototypes for the 2203 and 2204.
So Axis is saying, I want to find a good modeler because I could never afford the actual ones. I played them in stores and friends own them. I just don't have room either. Yeah. In terms of can't afford them, if you can afford a modeler, save up that money you're going to spend on a modeler, wait a couple months, and then you'll have the money to get the real thing. But if you don't have room, you got to get a divorce.
Yeah. Well, the thing about he's asking now, what he wants is that Rockman sound, which is he wants that Boston tone. There's a pedal by Full Tone, and I'm only selling it for $50. No, I think I do have one somewhere. It's called like the Secret Freak, FREQ.
Yeah. Yep.
And the Secret Freak is like it's that tone, that mid-range tone from Boston. You put that in front of any small amplifier and it's going to give you that sound. Right. You just need that and a decent chorus and you'll get that tone.
Yeah, that's such a unique tone. I have these conversations with people all the time where it's like, oh, this guy's got a signature guitar tone, that guy. And it's funny how often Tom Scholz gets like eluded in the conversation. His tone was super unique.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody that sounds like Tom Scholz.
I don't know if it's super unique. It kind of reminds me of a humbucker version of Brian May. It's very mid-rangey. I'm not a huge fan of that sound. I know some people that love it. It's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think the moment you hear that first chord, you're just like, yep, know right what that is.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, it's I guess similar to that Brian May sort of thing, but it's not. You know what it is. It's not Brian.
Yeah.
So I know somebody made a Mockman, but never released it for reasons. Oh, that's funny. Somebody should make that. It's funny. I was actually talking to Steve earlier, my buddy Steve, and
Asian Steve.
Yes, okay. And we were discussing the fact that there's not enough rack mount preamps out there. I was saying I need to make a rack mount preamp. And now here he comes and he's like saying, oh yeah, gotta get this rack mount Rockman thing going. What's his name? Jeff Loomis from Arch Enemy has a Rockman in his studio. In that last video that I posted where it's me and Michael Nielsen and Jeff Loomis, he runs through the studio and you see that Rockman sitting there in the rack. Pretty funny stuff. Mark St. John used a Rockman on Kiss Animalize record.
No one's saying anything anti-Asian. He's just happens to be Asian.
Oh, is somebody saying something about that?
Internet Money said, "Cool it with the anti-Asian remarks."
Yeah, nobody hears anti-Asian.
Yeah, so
I mean, let's talk about the other. No, I'm just kidding. No, I really don't like white people.
What
is this? Hysteria was recorded with Rockman's. I think that's right. Satriani has a plugin coming out. Well, you'll want to avoid that. I'm just kidding. That's the anti-Satriani talk. Kev, did you hear Walt? I'm sorry, Hack beating me up the other day about the Yngwie comments.
Oh my God, is Hack still in the room? Because I had a bone to pick when he says that Satriani is more of a bluesier player,
right? Yeah.
Than Yngwie. I was like, on what planet?
A crystal planet. Sorry.
That's awful. I was like, yeah, that would be like saying, yeah, Satriani's more of a Strat player. I mean, a lot of stuff. I mean, yeah, Yngwie's a shredder, but there's like a lot of, it's like a lot of Hendrix stuff in there.
Yeah, I mean, I have this conversation with people every time Yngwie comes up, and I get the same response all the time. People hate that guy. He's very polarizing. I think personally that, his feel is insane, but, whatever. What do I know? So DL, if you were going to take a record from the 1970s and you only get one
album from the 70s,
your Desert Island 1970s record. I, for one, by the way, I think the 70s are the greatest decade.
Can I take a double? It's easily the greatest. Can I take a double album?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I know what I'd take.
All right. Go for it.
Physical Graffiti.
All right.
By Led Zeppelin.
Yeah. All right.
I wouldn't even think about it.
That fast, huh?
One album, that would be it.
Interesting. I thought long and hard about this, and I think it would be Jailbreak from Thin Lizzy. I think that'd be my take.
Get the balls out of here.
You can have your Zeppelin. I'm just not a Zeppelin guy.
I'm not saying you have to be a Zeppelin guy, but I can name about 40 albums that before I would even think of that album. And I'm not sure that Jailbreak's Thin Lizzy's best album in the 70s.
I think it's a perfect record. Cover to cover, there's nothing wrong with it. It's perfect.
One could say the same about Black Rose.
One could, but I didn't. This is my island, and you're not on it.
Oh, okay. No, I would say Zeppelin Physical Graffiti. I would also, Steely Dan Asia or The Royal Scam is another one. Yeah, Live and Dangerous, though, is an 80s album. I think it's 83 or 82. No, 83. I think. I know it's 80s. But it's a great album.
Quadrophenia. That's cool. That's a good record.
Quadrophenia is a great Who album.
ABBA Greatest Hits. Wow. Okay. I'm looking at some of the comments here.
No, not Rock and Roll Over. That would... Nothing on the Kiss... Over. It's a Kiss album. I'll take Rock and Roll over Destroyer, though, any day.
If there's no firewood on this island and I have to have something to burn for warmth, I'll take the Kiss record collection.
You're saying Live and Dangerous? Oh, I'm sorry. You're right, Internet. Live and Dangerous is 70s. I am thinking of Thunder and Lightning.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm thinking of the one with John Sykes. Live and Dangerous. People think Live and Dangerous could be one of the best live albums of all time. It's up there. It's very good. For some reason, I was saying Live and Dangerous, and in my head, I'm thinking of Thunder and Lightning with Sykes.
I appreciate.
You're right, Internet.
I appreciate that he's picking a live album. That's not something that I would normally do. Just because I've never been like a live record guy. So that's cool. It's totally different from my approach. I like it.
Hey, Ryan's here. Ryan and Kelly. Good to see you.
Who's Ryan? Who's Ryan? Who's Ryan?
Ryan's the one who wants your Dirty Shirley.
Yeah. Oh,
I do like the first Blue Murder record. I do love Tin Lizzy. Yeah, I think Physical Graffiti would be my pick. Tom Knight saying, yeah. It would either be that or it would be, yeah. I think 80s. The song remains the same soundtrack I'm not a fan of.
What about maybe, what's another great one? Rainbow. Long Live Rock and Roll. It's a good one.
I do like that album. I also like Rising a lot.
Rainbow Rising would be a good one. Yeah. I'd take those. Sure. Burn would be another one. Would be worthwhile.
Yeah, you're really getting into this 70s hard rock, huh?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Foreigner Double Vision was a great album.
Was that 70s?
What? Foreigner Double Vision?
Yeah.
78.
Oh, okay. All right. What was Double Vision the one that had I'm at war with the world or whatever? Or was that Foreigner?
That's Foreigner at war with the world.
And what year is that?
77.
That's a good record.
Great record. Good. I like I Need You on that record too, which is right after At War with the World. And there was a bunch of big hits on that. Feels Like the First Time, Cold as Ice. There's another one. I'm blank. Well, Head Knocker was a good one.
Hack just brought up Hemispheres, which it's true. That would be one that I'd want to have with me on the island.
I imagine this island will have no women.
No, of course not. Unless I can bring my dog. The Toys in the Attic is another one. You know, the thing that's wild about this
rocks over Toys in the Attic.
But
thank you, Steve. A Long Way From Home was the one I couldn't think of. It was a Monday.
Oh, it's a great day. A great song. It's a great day too, Monday.
It's a great day.
Oh, man, it's funny because when you go back to the 70s, all these records, they're so good. There's so much good stuff.
Oh, it's amazing. It's
funny about
absolutely infuriating because
nobody chose Pink Floyd. Steve just did. Steve said Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon.
I would take Animals before Dark Side.
But it's funny that it's taken this long for somebody to bring up Pink Floyd. I would have thought that would be like one of the first people start mentioning. How about 80s? What if we move into the 80s?
80s for me.
God,
it just depends on what style. There's too many styles of music that I love. If I was going to keep it heavy, I'm either going with Black Sabbath, Heaven and Hell.
Great one. Great record.
Because I need to listen to that the height. What's the proper word for midget? Height challenged. Ronnie James Dio. Ooh. I like that album. I would also probably say Maiden, Peace of Mind. Sure. And that's only if I'm sticking with metal.
Right. But of course you have the opening to go into Hats from Blue Nile if you wish, or anything else.
Oh, well, it's Hats is what, 89? Yeah.
Is it that late?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. In fact, when you said it, I was like, wait, I saw them in 90, like right after. Yeah, I think it was like October of 89. Okay. It was. Scorpions, for me, 80s record, I would probably go with Blackout. I think I like Blackout a little bit better than.
That's a good one.
I think. Diary's a great album also. Mm-hmm. I think I like Blackout a little bit more than the Love at First Sting album.
Ghost in the Machine, it's a great one. Good choice.
That's to me, that's my favorite Police album, Ghost in the Machine.
Yeah, there's some good stuff coming from the chat right now for sure.
Yeah, Hack likes Mob Rules. I know that. That's a good album.
What's the name of the Rainbow record with Jolyn Turner?
Well, he did a few. He did the first one
What's
was
the one with Street of Dreams on it?
Final Vinyl.
Final Vinyl is what it's called?
I think so.
That'll be my take. I'll just play Street of Dreams over and over and
Oh,
over.
it's the worst. The one before it, Straight Between the Eyes, is better. Steve is saying Men at Work, Business as Usual. I love that album. Is he joking? Because I love that record.
No, he's probably not. Steve would probably pull out about 150 albums from the 80s, though.
Yeah, but Men at Work, I'll keep up with him. I'll tell you on that record, the best song on Business as Usual, Down by the Sea, I Find Your Buried Treasure. I love that record.
What about what if I'd pull like Night Ranger or something? What's the name of the first Night Ranger record?
Dawn Patrol.
Good record.
Great.
I don't know if it's the best of the 80s, but it's a really good record. And a really record. Seriously underrated band.
Yes. The first 3 albums, they should have just quit.
That might be
Bent Out of Shape. Thank you, Cecil. What was Final Vinyl? Was that a greatest hits or something?
Yeah. I don't know.
Oh, Woman in Chains is fantastic.
Best produced song of the 80s is the question, huh? Woman in Chains. It's a really good one.
The whole album's fantastic. Sowing the Seeds of Love. Women in Chains is the first song, right? With Oleta Adams.
It's a great one.
Some good ones coming through. Toto 4. You guys have to know he's a big Bobby Kimball fan.
Ooh. You know I love Bobby Kimball. That's true. You know, is there a better produced record in the 80s than So? I think So is probably my favorite out of like the, I don't know if you'd call it adult contemporary, but the non-metal So is the greatest.
Yeah, that was produced by Daniel Lanois.
Right.
And Lanois is awesome. Daniel Lanois also produced, the U2 albums, but he produced that Robbie Robertson album. That was great.
Broken Arrow?
Yeah, he produced all that.
Was that the name of that record, or was that just the song?
The song. The album was just self-titled.
Okay, yeah. Sowing the Seeds of Love was an awesome album. I totally agree.
Oh, yeah, it's a great album.
Chair. It's another one. What's funny about Songs from the Big Chair is that they're big American hit, of course. Why all of a sudden I can't think of the name of it is driving
Everybody
me crazy.
Wants to Rule the World.
Right. Yeah. Song that they didn't even want to put on the record. They hated that song.
The Axe is saying he's partial to albums with no symbols, and then says Peter Gabriel, the 1980 album with the melting face. Great record. Paul Weller plays guitar on one of the songs on that record. I think in Through the Wire. But also I feel like
I got a big disagreement with Internet Money. Says that the guitar on Dr. Feelgood is one of the best in the 80s. I totally disagree. I think
I think the original version of Dr.
drives me crazy.
The original version of that song, Night of the Long Knives by AC/DC, is better.
How funny is that one? I showed somebody that not that long ago, and they were like, what in the world?
It's the exact same song. They literally stole it from AC/DC.
Yeah. Night of the Long Knives. Yeah, it's there's a few songs on that record that I really like, that Motley Crue record, but I'm not a fan of his tone.
It's heavily verbed.
It sounds processed to me.
Yeah, heavily.
I think
but Axis, if you want to hear a great album with very few symbols, the Mind Bomb with David Palmer on drums.
Yeah. I don't know that one. I think in terms of that 80s hair metal guitar sort of sound in the 80s.
Yes, Cecil, they did.
Quarantine Martini as he has really, really good tone on a couple of records. And I know that you're not a big Lynch fan, but on Back for the Attack, he finally got his tone right. That was killer tone. But, then you have to listen to Don Dokken, and that's a problem.
Do you ever watch Metal Mythos?
Mm-mm.
The guy who sits for like an hour and he did a whole hour discussion where he just went on about Dawkins.
How can you do that?
Out of the guy must have the most amount of free time.
He must have a YouTube channel for a living.
Well, yeah, he must, but it's hilarious. But he's big into Dawkins, and I am not a Dawkins fan.
Yeah. It's they've got. I don't know why I'm being Stevie Wonder right now. They've got a sound. They've got a, I don't know, very.
Oh, now Internet Money's starting to sing my praise.
What's that?
Drop Dead Legs, one of the best guitar tones. I'll give you that.
Oh, yeah.
That was
Yeah,
Eddie Van Halen trying to be Holdsworth. It's fantastic.
Is that 84?
Yeah.
Hack's not wrong. The guitar tone at the beginning of Balls to the Wall, it's monstrous. It sounds great.
You loved Udo Dirkschneider.
It's a great name. Def Leppard, what is it? What is that song?
Let it go or something?
Yeah, or Let It Roll, whatever it is. That song has killer guitar tone.
Jelly beans. Good stuff.
Steve Longworth is just leaving one hanging here. You know who?
I know. I'm waiting for him.
Tone? We'll all stay silent until you finally get around to it.
Yeah, Let It Go.
Yeah, you know who has great tone? Yngwie on the first 3 records.
Dan Huff from Giants, a monster.
Yeah,
an effing monster.
Yeah, I think that was
Time to Burn. Come on,
it's Michael Nielsen was saying Dan Huff is like his favorite.
Dan Huff plays the solo on Danger Zone for Kenny Loggins. Oh wow, yeah, I used to like Howard Jones.
I'm not familiar with. Am I familiar with Howard Jones?
No one ever is to blame.
I think I know that.
Really?
I remember End of Heartache. Howard Jones was the name of Killswitch Engage's singer.
No.
Different
now,
guy.
If you guys really want to dial in the George Lynch guitar tone from Back for the Attack, there's a channel called Tony Fuentes.
He does not get it right. How dare you?
Oh, Tony is Blind Melon Yngwie.
Close.
Oh, that must be earlier.
He's making a reference to Blind Lemon Jefferson, right?
Well, he's making a joke that we're calling Yngwie a blues player, which we weren't. We were saying he's not less blues than Satriani.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's a difference between somebody's a blues player or Satriani's more of a blues player, which he isn't.
What was that Satriani record, Flying in a Blue Dream, where he did a little bit of singing?
Oh, I don't know.
And it's some of the worst stuff you've ever heard in your life.
Oh, what's the name? Pete Lesperance. Is that the guy in the band?
I used to work with a guy named Tom Lesperance.
Is Pete Lesperance in the band Harem Scarum? Is that what Steve L's pulling out? Is he a Harem Scarum fan?
No idea.
Steve, who was that guy you just named?
I like you guys are getting weird on me now.
Oh.
What is it?
I'm telling. He sang on The Extremist.
Hack is wrong. I got to call you out on that one, Hack. You're 100% wrong.
Oh yeah, Harem Scarum. That's one of Howie's favorites. They're great. Great. The musicianship's insane.
I don't think I know that band.
Oh yeah, you got to go look up the record. One of Howie's greatest favorite records is called it's the second album. I forget the name already.
Yeah,
Begins with an M. Begins with an M. What's the name of Harem Scarum's second album?
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I'm asking Steve.
Dangerous Toys. I'll tell you who had good guitar tone from Danger. Andy Timmons.
Oh, was he in Danger?
I think that was the name of his band.
I never knew what band he was from.
Yeah. That guy's got really monster tone.
I think a great guitar tone was the guitar player for Fifth Angel.
Oh, I remember the name of that band. I think you turned me on to them years ago.
Yeah, I love that guitar tone on that song, Midnight Love.
Yeah, I don't know the song particularly. The guitar on Karma Chameleon by Culture Club? Exactly. Now we're getting somewhere.
I can't say I know it.
I don't know it either, but if it's on a George Michael record, or Boy George record, I'm down. I watched.
Is anyone here familiar with Fifth Angel?
I watched Wedding Singer again the other day for the first time in a
Mood
long
Swings.
time.
That's it. Oh, Steve's being funny.
Tom Knight's Steve Stevens on the Billy Idol stuff. If you go to Steve's Facebook page, if you just type in Steve Stevens, he just released the an MP3. You can go to YouTube and find of him just with the guitar isolated tracks from Rebel Yell. You should hear that. It's really cool. Really good tone. Old 72 Marshall just cranked.
You know, it's funny because there's so many different, internet monies all over the place when it comes to music. And so am I. Like, musically, so it's so hard when someone says, what's the best produced album of the 80s? Immediately, I'm like Gary Katz on The Night Fly by Donald Fagen.
That's a good one.
I think of Tommy LaPuma, who did the David Sanborn Bob James album. I think of Danielle Lanois on Peter Gabriel's So.
Sure.
There's so many great ones. Lynch
Steve
and Martini, internet money, you can have them. I do not worship them. He likes them.
Who does?
I'll take Steve Stevens' tone over those two all day.
Did I miss? Let's see. Stevens has better tone than Lynch and Martini. These dudes you all worship. Yeah. No, don't confuse Warranty Martini with Quarantine Martini.
That's awful.
It's Tattooed Millionaire was great. Yeah, I remember that record.
Yeah.
Very cool people. Yannick Gears.
Yeah,
Yannick Gears is just happy to be there.
Oh, right now he is. He's just collecting a check.
It's great.
Yeah. As far as George Lynch goes, because I like Warren DeMartini. I like him as a guy. But as far as Lynch goes, I think he's the most overrated player of the 80s by far.
Yeah.
I do. I've said it before. I said it before.
Go listen to any one of the Guitar Talk episodes that we did over the last year, and you will learn two things. We do not like Fender's Fretwire and George Lynch.
Yes.
That's all you're going to pull from it.
Yeah, I never got into George Lynch, and it's nothing on a, I don't care for the songs. I don't care for Don Dokken. I don't care for, I don't know, that whole, they kind of seemed like the milquetoast version of Rat.
Best 80s tones produced in 90-91. That's true. I agree with that.
Well, I definitely like the stuff that Soundgarden did better than most of the 80s stuff, you know.
That shit got perfected. I agree with that.
Oz Fox, yeah. What's that, Striper?
I never got into Striper.
I never did either.
What about C.C. DeVille? Oh.
I'll tell you the sounds I liked. Like, I liked The Cure a lot. I thought that Disintegration was a fantastic album.
Nuno's tone on Three Sides to Every Story I like a lot. Porno Graffiti, too high gain, too processed.
Interesting.
Right before grunge, yeah. Yep. You ever hear that story where that Janie Lane is telling where he's talking about going in, to what was it, like A&M Records or whatever, to see the Cherry Pie poster get ripped off the wall and them putting dirt from Alice in Chains up in the same spot. And he's like, I know it's over. It's the end. He's absolutely right too.
Was it Alice in Chains picture that was up?
That's the story.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's tough. I mean, music changes and whatnot, but there's so many different styles. Like in the 80s, I was a big Johnny Marr fan. I hated the hairband metal sound, and I loved like The Cure. I was really into the Smiths. I loved the tone, and the parts that they were playing were really tough. And and at the same time, I was getting into Soundgarden early 90s, Alice in Chains, 24/7 Spies. I liked that third album, that Living Color. Actually, I liked the second and third album that Living Color did. Time's Up, and
Time's Up's a good one.
What was the third one called? It had Ignorance is Bliss on it. It had like a German sounding name.
Yeah, I don't remember. I'd have to look it up, which I can. Let's see. Living with one V, right? Living.
Yeah. How many L's in legally?
Right. Stain. The very German sounding Stain.
Right. But there is a German song on that album. A sounding song.
Yeah. Vernon Reid. So Vernon Reid is another one of those guitar players that has his own thing going. I don't know anybody that's like, I wish I could sound just like Vernon Reid. And yet a lot of people like that band. I find that to be the case with a lot of guitar players who are memorable. They just have their own thing going.
Yeah, I love Susie and the Banshee Stone too. There was some cool, interesting things. And I was a big Cocteau Twins fan with Robin Guthrie. Huge Robin Guthrie fan.
Access 2084 says, I met Savatage at the channel in Boston as well. That's a band I never hear anything about. Savatage. I think you've got to be... Do you have to have like Dungeons and Dragons like campaigns in order to like Savatage? Why? What
I'm curious is how old is Access, because the channel closed when I was relatively young.
Now that band came out in the 80s. They weren't around in the 70s or anything like that. So,
oh, you're my age. Yeah, I was going to say I was probably like, how old was I when they closed that? 22, 23?
Al Pitrelli. Al Pitrelli was a guitar player late in the Savatage days. The first guitar player was the brother of what was his name? Yeah, I can't recall. I haven't heard anything about that band since like 93.
The Tom Knight. Cars and Fix. I love the Fix. Saw them live. They were amazing. Yeah. Access, you're in Connecticut, aren't you? Or are you in Mass? I thought you were in Connecticut.
My Bloody Valentine. That's cool.
Oh, stuff. My Bloody Valentine. They were like a 4-8. I think they were a 4AD band. Oh, New Hampshire. That's right.
New Hampshire. That's funny.
Yeah. What part of New Hampshire? You in Nashua? You in Nashua? You over in Manchester, huh? Can I go over?
Oh, man.
Oh, see, I knew that. I got something right. Yeah, Elliot Easton's awesome.
He gets that tone from being left-handed.
Exactly.
Are there Hicks in the Northeast? It's funny, people he's saying with all the Hicks.
Oh, God. It's nothing but woods up there in New Hampshire. You got like towns, and then you got surrounded by woods. People living in wood. It's like West Virginia over there.
Sounds great. I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Gotta get out of LA.
City of Angels.
I'll tell you what you're missing in LA right now is clear, clean air.
Yeah.
The time that you lived here, I don't think you got to experience that.
Anytime it was windy, it always clears. It's always just the shit from the day.
Yeah, it's it feels nice out here kind of all the time right now. You know, the irony of having this nice clean air is that you're supposed to be wearing a face mask the whole time so you don't get to breathe it.
Right.
It's really too bad.
When was the last time you walked over to Pit Fire?
2 months ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm not really a fan. Not really a fan. If we get pizza for the whole family,
Oh, really, Tom?
$60 and it's nothing special.
Yeah, no, Pit Fires. You got to go by yourself because it's too expensive to take kids.
Even still, I don't think that'd be my choice.
Steven Stills.
Steven Stills. It wouldn't be my choice. There are 2 places that popped up in El Segundo that are fantastic. So there's a restaurant in El Segundo now called Slice and Pint that's owned by El Segundo Brewing, and they do amazing pizza. And then there's another place called Grimaldi's.
Right, that's Chris DeLisa loves.
Chris DeLisa loves it for good reason. It's fantastic. So those are the 2 joints that we'll go to.
Tom Knight, I want that song. It's the greatest.
What is this song you guys are talking about?
It's on the Brady Bunch. Like Bobby Brady's playing drums, and he's like, "Hey, wait!" He puts on the record to play drums to it, and it's like the most absurd song ever. It's like horns. It's like absolutely ridiculous.
Have I been to Amir Durak Japanese pizza restaurant? No. He was a guitar player. Who did Amir Durak play for?
Guys, go easy on putting down Japanese pizza. Thank you.
Coming back around. Steve says orgy. If he was an orgy, you definitely don't want to get the white pizza. What?
Awful. Hey, Sean, what's happening?
He played in Rough Cut too?
Oh, Rough Cut.
Oh, I didn't know that.
What was the singer's name for Rough Cut? I'm blanking on his name. He was in that hearing aid thing, wasn't he? We're stars.
Oh man. You know who else is blanking on the vocalist from Rough Cut is literally everybody. Rock and roll history.
Axis, I have a buddy of mine that has a pizza place right near Salem, New Hampshire.
Was there a band called like
Jordy? No, thank you.
Is there a band called like Jordy or something like that from the 80s? What am I thinking of?
Jordy was a 70s band. That was Brian Johnson from AC/DC's band.
Okay, so that's not what I'm thinking of right now. But yeah, now that you say
that. Because a Jordy is a slang term for somebody from Newcastle.
Let's see who the singers were in Weird Stars.
Yeah, he's in Drake at Axis.
Jimmy Bain. Who's Jimmy Bain?
Lin, the city of sin. You never go out the way you go in. Oh, he was? Oh, Jafria. The Jafria player.
That's what I was thinking of.
Craig Goldie.
Now, was Dave Manichetti, was that the singer from Rough Cut?
He's Y&T.
He's Y&T. Okay.
She's on a mean streak. Jafria did Call to Your Heart. And the guitar player for Jafria played for Dio after that, We're Stars. He replaced Vivian Campbell. Yeah, Jimmy Bain played with Dio. I think Jimmy Bain was also in Rainbow at one point. We're Stars.
Dude.
Yeah, Craig Goldie. Yeah, he was good. The guy, Jafria, he used to work at West LA Music.
What?
He did in the 80s.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah.
Jafria. Yeah, all this stuff is a little past me. I don't know half of this stuff you guys are getting into now, Jafria and all this. Familiar with the names?
Oh, Jafria did "Call to Your Heart," and yeah, Craig Goldie. What was the name? What's the third Dio album?
Let's see.
It's the one after Last in Line. I can see the cover.
Wasn't Lock Up the Wolves, was it?
That's either third or fourth.
I will tell you in a moment. Dream Evil. No. Sacred Heart.
Sacred Heart. That's the one. Isn't that Craig Goldie on guitar?
I'm going to take a look right now. Personnel.
Cecil seems to know his Dio.
No, Vivian Campbell still on that record.
He is.
Yep.
Is Goldie on it too?
No.
All right, so it's the next one.
Oh wait, it says additional musicians. Craig Goldie guitars on "Time to Burn." So there was a song on that record called "Time to Burn" that he did. So he must have come in then on the follow-up, which would have been "Dream Evil." I'm imagining that that's going to be Craig Goldie. Let's see. Yep. So that was his first full record.
Right. Okay.
And then 1990 was "Lock Up the Wolves." That's quite a bit later. And that was Rowan Robertson. So Craig Goldie didn't last very long with good old Ronnie James.
Right.
I love Dio. Too bad that guy's gone. Nobody else sings like that guy. He's a monster.
Who do you think the best singer in metal was? Here's a question for you.
Dio,
the best singer in metal, but you have to give but whatever window. In other words, if you said David Coverdale, I'm not going to count David Coverdale today. We're obviously talking about Coverdale when he was good.
Is Coverdale really metal?
Well, he's a hard rock. I mean, he's as metal as Dio is. I mean, Dio's just,
Yeah, I guess. I still think Dio.
Really?
Yeah.
Better than
literally everybody you could mention. Better than all of them. I don't think that Soundgarden's metal.
Well, it's grunge.
Yeah.
Well, grunge is a genre in metal.
I just don't think it's the same thing.
Well, I mean, let me tell you why that statement's ridiculous. Anyone who listens to like Slipknot or anything even ultra heavy today is going to look at your Dio metal and go, that's not metal.
Right. Sure. That's true.
So you have to include either everything or exclude everything.
I'm going to exclude everything.
No.
Yeah. Because then Dio doesn't know. No, it fits my argument better.
I'm saying if you let Dio in, then you have to let Joe Lynn Turner in.
That's fine.
But if you let Joe Lynn Turner in, how can you say Joe Lynn Turner's not metal? And
if we're letting everybody in, then
Murray can be metal.
Then I'm still picking Dio.
All right, I give you that. Hack says Rob Halford.
He's a terrible singer. Come on. I love Judas Priest.
I mean, I think, like, again, if you took Halford in that small window of 1980 to 83, he was unbelievable. After that, you could throw him out.
He's a good singer in the sense that he's unique and he fits his thing. You're not going to have him singing like you want to have him singing blues like Coverdale.
No.
I think Halford fits only what Halford fits.
I think Dickinson was great for the time.
Beavis did a great Halford impression of Painkiller.
I'll tell you this: are there any Iron Maiden fans out in the chat? because Iron Maiden's Matter of Life and Death is a phenomenal record.
Sure.
Phenomenal. As good as some of the 80s albums.
Yeah,
I think it's
very,
better
very
than
good.
Dark. And I think it's better than the Can I Play with Madness album. What is that album called? Seventh Son of a Seventh Son.
Sure. I don't know who Lahone Witherspoon is. Devin Townsend's definitely a fantastic singer, but No Prayer for the Dying. That's not a record that people talk about usually. That was a good record. I think when it comes to Iron Maiden, you've really got like 83 to like what, 86?
Internet Money wants to know where's the whiskey.
And it was mixed in the coffee. I had an Irish coffee going over here. Yeah. I'm going through my what is it called? My Belvini Double Wood. I'm going to get through that bottle and then find a new one. Something different. I'm experimenting with scotch. Scotchy scotch. Anybody in here drink scotch? DL, I know you're more of a bourbon guy.
Yeah, I prefer bourbon. There was a couple of scotches I liked, but
what about with a cigar?
I like bourbon.
Bourbon with a cigar. What was that cigar we used to smoke? Was it Maduro?
Flor de la Neza from El Rey del Mundo. Was a great cigar. We used to watch Cannon, drink bourbon.
Yeah, those good times. I think Steve Longworth would have been around for one of those nights, I imagine. So I think he when he came to LA hung with us quite a bit. Smoke weed on cam if you ain't sipping, says Internet Money. Actually, I'm not a weed guy.
Yeah, I'm not either.
It's I got no problem with it. I remember in my late 20s, I tried it a whole bunch, trying to like make it work, and it never worked. And everybody that smoked around me would always say the same thing. Oh, it just doesn't work because you got to try my stuff. You haven't had the good stuff. And so I tried their stuff. Never worked. I get more out of 2 Guinnesses than I do out of a spliff. It just doesn't have a lot of impact.
I smoked 2 joints in the morning, and then I smoked 2 joints. You went to a hamburger place and you ordered a veggie burger. I wasn't there, right? Steve.
Oh, you're getting the chat faster than me because you're watching the YouTube stream, and right. I'm on the StreamYard side of it, so it's coming a bit later.
Oh, let me see what the StreamYard side looks like, because I'm gonna get really bleached out in a sec.
That wasn't the best story from when Steve came here, but I can't tell that story.
Yeah, see, that just totally whites out my page.
So he said the weed they have today is no longer for me. It was okay in the 80s. Tried some. Felt like I was going to expire right there. Yeah, I imagine now it's probably stronger. They've got like 1 million different strains of everything right now. And it's legal.
Yeah.
I'm going to go get some weed for my kids.
Oh yeah, well, Padgham was Padgham, however you pronounce that guy's name, was the guy responsible for the In the Air Tonight, and I think he did the Peter Gabriel. Didn't he do the Melty Face album?
Who is this? Oh, Hugh Padgham.
Yeah, Padgham.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna look up that guy's catalog because the names that you're putting out there obviously all had really good productions at that point in time.
Yeah, well, that was he was an 80s guy, Hugh. Yeah, right. I think he did Melting Face too, because I think the drums. What is the name of that song?
Was Melt 3?
Yeah.
All right. Oh, Biko was on there. Biko.
Yep, Pico's on that album.
Pico. That's a
My
great
favorite
one.
is Lead a Normal Life is on that.
It says that Steve Lillywhite was the producer of that record.
Okay, who was the engineer?
I'm looking for that information right now.
Steve Lillywhite.
Hugh Padgham. He was the engineer.
Yeah, okay.
And he was also a whistle. He whistled on the record.
Oh, he must have done whistling tunes. We piss on baboons in the jungle. Yeah, Family Snapshots are great. You can't go wrong with any song on that album.
Robert Fripp was on that record.
I don't think Daniel Lanois did Security, but I could be wrong. But I don't think he did it.
Oh, geez. So I didn't know this about this record. There's a lot of people on this record I had no idea because I've never looked this up before. Robert Fripp played guitar on the record.
What song?
He did tracks 2, 4, and 8. Phil Collins was on drums.
Yeah.
On 1, 2, 6. Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, because Phil
idea.
Collins
Paul Weller was on guitar on track number 6.
And Through the Wire. And Through the Wire. Yeah.
Oh shit. Wow.
Phil Collins loved the drum tone that guy got, and that's why he hired him to do Phil Collins' first record.
That's cool. Yeah, I had no idea. You know, I like Genesis, and I listened to some of the Peter Gabriel Genesis and some of the Phil Collins Genesis and all that, but I've never like dug into their whole backstory. Like, so this to me is a surprise because I guess somewhere in my head I believed that, you know, there was probably some sort of bad blood or something, you know, with their breakup. But apparently not. If Phil Collins was playing on that record,
I think Phil Collins funded the So album.
Yeah, got me.
I think he put up the money for So. I think he was one of the executive producers on that.
David
yeah, Phil Collins played on the August album, if I'm not mistaken. Have you seen, has anyone in this chat watched this guy like John Hedden or Heaton? He's in England and he does album reviews, loves the Beatles. He's a British guy. Man, he was talking about Clapton and he was like, he thought the 2 worst albums of Clapton in the 80s was Behind the Sun and August. And I was like, those are his 2 best.
I don't think I've heard either one of them.
Oh, Clear Mountain's great, but he's more of a mixer. He does more mixing. Home by the Sea is fantastic. That's on the Genesis album. Picking up the pieces.
Dancing with the Moonlit Night. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I call that a Kovar song.
It's a great song, though. I think me and Kovar have a lot of similar tastes in some of that sort of proggier stuff.
Yeah, I thought that guy was crazy internet. He was like, Money and Cigarettes and Journeyman were the good ones from that. I'm like, those are way worse than those other 2. Yeah, Abacab's a good record.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah, Forever Man was on Behind the Sun.
What record had Turn It On Again?
That was Duke.
I like Duke too. That's a good record.
Yeah. That was the one right before Abacab. Duke had Misunderstanding. Mm-hmm. It had
I also like Invisible Touch. Invisible Touch is got some good tunes on it.
They would play that for you when you went to have a whiskey at Trunks. She's got to have an invisible touch.
Exactly. Oh. You remember that time we went to Trunks?
No, we never went to Trunks.
Oh, don't get shy. So me and DL one night we were at Trunks. You know, and by one night I mean 52.
Working the pivot.
There was one year where we went every Saturday.
That's great.
What was that motion that you just did there? Oh man.
I know Bruford's awesome. I think I love Bruford on the three King Crimson albums from the '80s. Discipline, Three of a Perfect Pair, and Beat. And I know it didn't go in order. There are beats in the middle, but
Break it down again.
So These Are My Dreams. It's a great fucking song.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Roland Orzabal when Kurt Smith had left Tears for Fears. That's a great song.
Yeah.
Break it down again.
Yeah.
So these are my dreams. Yeah, in fact, I loved Roland Orzabal's voice. Great. Tears for Fears is an underrated band.
Bourbon Now, Scotch in My 20s.
Have you seen Kurt Smith is doing a video like with his daughter where they're playing Mad World on
Facebook? I haven't watched that yet. I saw it come through the other day. Is it good?
What's that? Oh,
is
yeah.
It good? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think if I'm not wrong, Internet, that the album was called Elemental. I'm just doing this off the top of my head, but that I don't know, Tom.
Hugh Padgham. Let's see what Hugh Padgham's been up to.
Now let me look something up. Was it Elemental? For some reason, I think that was the...
Oh, man. This guy has a hell of a catalog.
Oh.
Hugh Padgham. He's got a lot of Grammys, too. He's got a Grammy. He was just nominated. Record of the Year for Every Breath You Take and Synchronicity. So he apparently did that. He did No Jacket Required from Phil Collins, but Seriously, 10 Summoner's Tale.
Get down again.
If I ever lose my faith in you. That was that record, I think. What did he do for Sweet? I love Sweet.
Who?
Hugh Padgham. He worked with Sweet.
Yeah, no, he did on Everybody Wants to Rule the World. Sweet was really produced, I thought, a lot by Mickey Chapman. And then
Let's go.
Yeah. Ballroom Blitz.
Yeah. Man. Glam rock.
Break It Down. You know what Break It Down again reminds me a little bit of the production was Level 42. Remember Level 42, John?
Yeah. What about it?
Lessons in Love. It reminds me a little bit of the Break It Down again, that later Tears for Fears production.
Okay.
The
Hugh Padgham worked with Mike and the Mechanics too, by the way. Sorry.
Can you hear me?
All I need is a miracle.
I said, go if you want to go.
You know, it's funny. That used to be like you'd go to the grocery store.
Hair bands was named after a sweet tune, Sweet F.A. Sweet Fanny Adams. That's what F.A. is.
Is it?
Yeah, Sweet Fanny Adams.
I had no idea. Oh, excuse me. Apparently need more coffee and whiskey. That's funny. I was just thinking about that now. I haven't heard Mike and the Mechanics in the grocery store much lately. Used to be the only place I'd get to hear it. I'd go to the grocery store and pick out produce and listen to, Mike Rutherford's greatest hits.
Every generation.
Things are different now. They don't play that shit anymore. Now they play like modern stuff that's awful.
For sale.
I'll tell you, you go to restaurants and grocery stores nowadays, they got the worst music playing.
They want you in and out. That's what they do.
Yeah. Like, we're going to put up garbage so that you get out of here as quickly as possible.
That doesn't make sense. Shirley Manson. Garbage. Horrible joke.
Oh, come on. What did they do? Garbage? I'm only happy when it rains.
Yeah, exactly. And Stupid Girl.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, they play stuff in the supermarkets to get you out.
It doesn't make sense. You'd think that they'd want you there so that you'd be buying more stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. Used to be back in the 70s, you'd go in, they'd be playing. You think you're on the dating game walking into the produce section.
That's fantastic. I wish that was how it was now. Oh, so who had the best, whether it be game show or TV show or sitcom, who had the best theme song? Doesn't even matter
Ooh,
what era, just best theme song.
of any show.
Sure. And you're not allowed to pick Steve Warner.
I can't pick who's the boss.
Right.
All right. Best television theme show song.
There's a time for love and a time for living.
Making the way the best you can. Let me see now. First of all, People's Court's going to be tough to beat if it was a. Ooh, Family Ties was. Wait, what was Family Ties? Was that the? What will we do, baby, without us? Right? What will we do, baby? That was the duet with Denise Williams and what the hell's his name? Chances Johnny Mathis.
I think it's hard to disassociate like just a show that you really like from the theme song, because I would immediately pick something like the A-Team, because to me, the moment I hear that, I'm like, whoa, yeah. But it's really not fair because I just love the show.
Well, it's almost like Perry Mason had a great one, and I love Cannon. Oh, What's Happening was great. I think my favorite was the theme to Maud. Lady Godiva was a freedom rider. She didn't care if the whole world looked. Oh, Fat Albert was good. Her. I'm going to sing a song for you. We'll have some good times. Yeah, it was a good one.
Airwolf. Real American hero.
Well, he said, "What's happening?" That didn't have any words either. That was just.
That's funny.
Yeah, there's a lot of great ones.
Sure.
Angela's a good one. Someone said Angela, which was the theme from Taxi. I have that album. It's on the Touchdown album.
That's wild.
Oh, the Muppet Show's pretty strong. Oh. Yeah, Welcome Back, Carter's a good one. Different Strokes is great. Now the world don't move to the beat of just one drum. What might be right for you might not be right for some.
Oh, man.
How about The Simpsons is nothing but a ripoff of the Jetsons? Meet George Jetson. Ooh, KRP's tough.
Oh, that's all funny stuff.
Can you believe Tom Knight, Sammy Davis Jr. song came on today on Sirius Satellite, 70s on 7? The Candyman. You guys familiar with this song? Who can take the sunrise? And the kids, who can take? And it's like, he's singing along with like the children of the damned. These kids sound like they're ready to murder for candy.
Who wrote that song? Because that was in Willy Wonka.
It is in Willy Wonka. I don't know who wrote it. Hey, Em.
Whoa, it's Emily.
Oh, yeah. In fact, Emily and I had this conversation. Emily, she thinks the greatest, let's see if I can remember, because she always gets mad I forget. The greatest theme song, is it Knight Rider? That's the one she likes. Michael Knight.
Yeah, the one that sticks in my head, I'm telling, is the A-Team. I think that's mine.
Oh, it's no. Should I get a no? It's not Knight Rider.
Oh, you're in trouble.
I am. I always get it messed up. And Knight Rider might be your second. Oh, the Jeffersons.
The Jeffersons. Wasn't that moving on up, moving
Yeah,
on up
I'm
to
doing
the
the fade out at the end.
Oh, okay.
We're moving on. When they do the slow one.
Right. Oh man, I don't think I've seen the Jeffersons in years.
Oh yeah. George. Good times, yeah. Mother Jefferson. I think Maud is a great one though. Oh yeah, she likes the Dukes of Hazzard. Just a good old boy. You know my mother loves me, but she can't understand why they just show my hands and not my face on TV.
You can't just pick Eastbound and Down. I would like that. That's a great one.
We loaded up and trucking. We're gonna do what they say can't be done.
Eastbound.
Yes,
That's a great show.
Hathaway on Maud. That's why I love it. Love his voice. Love that whole sound. Lady Godiva was a freedom rider.
Oh my god. Looks like we're coming up. We're coming up on 2 hours. Goodness. What are we doing with our lives? Yeah. Have you guys watched Eastbound and Down? Have you watched that deal?
No, Cecil, he was one of the best of all time.
Oh, yeah.
A monster player.
Yeah, I agreed. Jerry's Breakdown. Anybody that hasn't heard that, it's got to hear that.
Yeah.
Jerry Reed, Jerry's Breakdown. Big lapels, nylon string guitar. Freaking incredible.
It's great.
Yeah. Well, I think we're coming up on it, if you ask me. We're close to 2 hours here.
Get down on it.
Yeah.
Get down on it. Yeah, I need to eat again. I'm starving.
You don't look like you're starving.
No kidding.
I swear, in quarantine, I'm putting on weight like crazy.
Quarantine martini?
Dude, I'm over here grazing like a cow.
Oh, I'll just have 1 or 7.
Right.
Oh, wait.
I'm nervous I'm not going to be able to fit out my door when it's time to go back to work.
Why are you playing in radio there? I don't understand. That wasn't a you're the only one I want, and you can't change that.
I don't think I know that one.
Oh, that's funny, I love 80s country. Steve Wariner. Is your buddy Steve? Is he a Wariner fan?
I don't think we've ever talked about Steve Wariner.
He says he misses Ronnie Millsap. Come on, Steve Wariner. Steve, go on. Let me tell you what to do, Steve. Go on Spotify.
And crying.
Go on Spotify and look up the album. Well, Drive is a great album, but look up the album It's a Crazy World by Steve Wariner. You'll love it. I love Ronnie Millsap. Don't get me wrong. Any day now, and oh darling, there ain't no getting over me.
Eddie Rabbit. Oh God.
You must look up Steve Wariner.
People are getting weird around here.
Oh, he's a great player, but he's a great singer. Those 80s songs. The album It's a Crazy World, Steve. Spotify now. Oh, Stranger in My House is a great tune by Millsap.
Who else was big in the 80s in the country scene? Like Randy Travis?
Randy Travis. Oh, suppose I call you up tonight and tell you that I love you. And suppose I told you so.
Juice Newton.
Yeah, she did Queen of Hearts, and she did the Merrily Rush cover, Angel in the Morning.
Oh, man.
She also, Alabama.
Her name was Jude.
Nobody loves Alabama like Bingham when he hears Deep River Woman.
Oh, that's the one. That's my jam.
I know it is.
Lionel Richie.
Deep River Woman.
Oh yeah.
If you want to know why 80s country died, look up Deep River Woman with Alabama and Lionel Richie. It's like, wait a second, isn't this every Commodore song?
Just look up a picture of Travis Tritt from like 1990, that haircut.
Oh, I love that.
I'll tell you why it died. Awful.
Country Club, right? Wasn't that the album in 90?
Who, Travis Tritt?
Yeah, didn't Travis Tritt do the song Bible Belt?
Right, yeah. Yeah, from My Cousin Vinny.
Yes.
One of the greatest movies ever made.
No, he's wrong. Yeah.
How is it that Joe Pesci had 2 movies right in a row that could arguably be considered in their own genres some of the greatest ever made?
Yeah, Goodfellas, 1990.
My Cousin Vinny, 1990. Both of them.
Both 90? I thought My Cousin Vinny was 92.
I think so. I'm going 90. Folks, you want to...
Yeah, you're probably right.
You want to venture a guess?
Travis Tritt came out around 90, and that was like his first.
My Cousin Vinny. Oh, no, you're right. 92.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's 92. March 13th, 1992.
Well, then he did Casino in 95.
Was Goodfellas 90?
Oh, for sure.
I'm sure that you know that. Yeah, it's 90. All right.
Yeah, it lost to Dances with Wolves that year.
Talk about robbery.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Playing politics there.
Well, the politics was let's pay him back by giving him an Oscar for The Departed, which stunk.
Yeah, that's how they do things.
Reality TV.
Did you hear about when they gave Megadeth a Grammy a few years ago for like the best metal performance?
No.
It was, they gave it to Megadeth 25 years after their prime.
Right.
It's just like, these guys deserve it by now. Let's just give it to them.
They did it to Jethro Tull, too. They gave Jethro Tull like Heavy Metal Album of the Year award that beat up Metallica.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
It's like
Pesci did a couple of Lethal Weapon movies. That's absolutely right. And they're fantastic. I love Pesci and Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pesci also did a movie called The Landlord. That's right.
I love, I'll tell you right now, I think My Cousin Vinny's a phenomenal movie.
Yeah. You are. I love her. Marissa Tomei.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was brilliant.
It's great. In the middle of the Bible Belt.
Look up and see what else he did, like right in that same sort of time frame. Oh my God!
What?
Looking at a picture of Joe Pesci right now, he looks so old.
He is old.
Holy shnikes! Oh my God, he's 77 years old.
That's it?
Oh, you thought he was older than that?
Yeah, he was in Easy Money. He played Nikki.
Right.
Nikki, it's my daughter, Nikki.
Wow.
Oh, Steve is telling you to listen to Hear 'em, Scare 'em, Mandy.
Do I have to?
Yeah, you'll like it.
All right, I will. Let's see what we got here. Oh, he was in JFK. The Super. He was in Home Alone. That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, he was on fire in the 90s.
Yeah. Well, because he came, what was his first movie? Raging Bull, 1980. His first big film.
He was a dancer at the Peppermint Club in Hey, Let's Twist in 1961. Uncredited. Nobody would know this. The Death Collector, 1976 was his first credit.
Yeah, but I mean, it was probably like a student film. His first like real film was.
All right, Raging Bull.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Easy Money in 83.
Yeah.
Once Upon a Time in America.
He was in there?
Yeah, it says
Jimmy
so.
Woods and De Niro?
Says he was Frankie. Then a whole lot of stuff I never heard of before. All the way up to
Hollywood. Was Jimmy Hollywood something you didn't hear before?
Jimmy Hollywood? I don't see that anywhere.
What the hell was the name of that movie?
You got me. I don't know. Easy Money, Once Upon a Time in America, Tootie Dentro, Half Nelson, whatever that is, Man on Fire, Moonwalker.
8 heads in a duffel bag. Was that him?
Yeah, that was obviously later. Yeah. The Super. I remember something about that
The
movie.
Super. Wait, I wasn't even. Was it Jimmy Hollywood or what was that movie called?
I don't know. I don't see anything. Oh yeah, there it is. Jimmy Hollywood. Yeah, I don't remember Jimmy Hollywood.
Yeah, I remember that. It's a Barry Levinson film.
So if Pesci is 77, I got to look up Marissa Tomei.
She's probably a few years older than me. And when I say a few, I mean she's within 10 years.
She's 55.
What?
Yeah, that makes sense.
3 years older than me? That's it?
So Marissa Tomei, let's see, was in her 20s in My Cousin Vinny. I got to say, I love My Cousin Vinny, but how funny is it that Marissa Tomei, who's like, 22 or 23 years old or whatever when it comes out, and she's shacking up with fucking nearly 50-year-old Joe Pesci. And you're supposed to believe that's his real hair.
Right.
It's still one of the greatest movies ever. Oh, it's so funny. Anyway, DL, let's cut this.
All right, I'm ready to go.
We had a lot of fun, folks. Thank you guys for joining in. It made the evening tolerable. It's great. We should do this again.
Sounds good.
All right, everybody. Anybody got any last questions? Any takers? We got
The effrontery. Where does he get the temerity? The effrontery.
Ooh.
The effrontery is what's his name? Junior Soprano says that. Where does he get the effrontery?
DL, did you get into Lilyhammer at all?
No, but it looks pretty interesting.
I love it.
Oh, you do?
Love it. Yeah. Yeah, give it a try.
Yeah, it's Steven Van Zandt doing
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to watch it.
It got bad reviews, but I've watched the whole series like 3 times now. I love it.
Really? I'll check it out.
It starts out kind of like dark comedy, sort of.
Is it on Netflix?
Yeah, it's an original Netflix series, so that's where you got to go. But I loved it.
Something on Netflix to watch.
I feel like RL might be into it too. I can't remember if he said he watched it.
He's in the mafia, and they relocate him to whatever country it is.
Yeah, Norway.
No, okay, yeah.
Am I a Sopranos guy? I watched it when it was out, but I haven't seen it since. So my reference isn't useless. I got to watch it again. Maybe I'll start doing that. I got time to revisit that show.
Have you watched Breaking Bad?
No.
Oh, you got to watch Breaking Bad.
I know everybody says that. I got through like 2.5 seasons and I still didn't care.
Better Call Saul is fantastic. So you have to get through Breaking Bad so you can watch that.
So yeah, Breaking Bad, I just didn't give a shit. And there's a lot of shows like that where it was like that. Like Walking Dead, I walked away in season 4. I was just like, I'm over it. I don't really care.
Well, there was only 4 seasons. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, exactly. I walked away when the series finale happened. I just didn't care.
I walked away mid-finale.
Right. All right, everybody. I'm going to cut it off.
Very good.
See you folks on the other side.
All right, very good.
Later.